Welcome to this video. You're probably here because you want to know how you should read your Oura Stats. Almost every client of ours wears an Oura Ring or a Whoop, but mostly an Oura Ring. And I am the sleep coach at Peak Club, which means that I always make weekly reports for our clients based on their Oura Stats. So today I will show you how you should read your Oura Stats and how you can make it practical for yourself. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So what you're currently seeing right now is the Oura Dashboard of one of our clients. Here are his results, here are his stats. And today I will show you on which stats you should focus and should optimize. Okay, most of us probably think, if you're an entrepreneur, you will think that you need to focus on your total sleep. And you are right, but that isn't the most important part you should focus on. The most important parts are your REM sleep and your deep sleep. So REM sleep is important for mental recovery. Think about your focus, think about emotional recovery, think about information processing. REM sleep is important for your mental recovery. And the ideal range of your REM sleep should be between 1 hour and 30 minutes and 2 hours. That is optimal. As you can see right here, our client is in the optimal range. If we talk about deep sleep, is mostly focused on physical recovery. Think about energy, think about muscle recovery. Deep sleep is really important for the physical recovery aspect. And as you can see right here, is that one of our clients, so the client that we have right now, has 2 hours and 27 minutes of deep sleep, which almost hits the ideal range if we talk about deep sleep. The most optimal range is between 2.5 hours and 3 hours. So if we talk about the two stages, deep sleep optimal between 2.5 hours and 3 hours, and REM sleep between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. That comes down to simply sleeping for 5 hours, right? And it may sound weird, but if you can get this kind of quality of your sleep within 5 hours, you don't even need to sleep more than that, right? So it's more about the quality of your sleep than it is about the quantity of your sleep. As you can see right here, this client is really strict and disciplined. So that's what I love about him. He is disciplined, and as you can see, also his sleep efficiency is really high, which literally means, sleep efficiency means the time in bed and the time that you are sleeping. And if he is in bed, he is most of the time sleeping, as you can see. 33 minutes he is awake while he is in bed. And that is in the beginning, and that is at the end of each sleep cycle, right? And also at the end of his night when he wakes up. And this is really amazing. Your sleep efficiency should be between 90 and 100%, right? So that is the ideal range. If we talk about restfulness, restfulness looks at how many times you wake up during the night. As you can see with our client, he only woke up 2 times, and this is normal, so this is not a problem. You will sometimes wake up in the middle of the night, and most of the time you won't even know it, so that is amazing. As you can see, the latency, it takes 3 minutes for him to fall asleep, which in some cases mean that he really needs his recovery, and in other cases it means that he has prepared himself to get to sleep by simply having an evening routine. So that is great. Well, if we go down here, right, so you all can also see the light sleep stage, and you can see sometimes the fragmentation. You also see right here with our client is that he has REM sleep in the early part of the night, which is unusual, which also means that it is a REM rebound effect. Let me check. Okay, because why? 2 days before on Saturday, he had 1 hour REM sleep, which resulted in a REM rebound effect. So when your body doesn't get enough REM sleep, mental recovery, the next day it will try its best to get enough REM sleep back that it has lost. Fun fact, everything that you have lost, if we talk about hours or quality of sleep, you never can get back. The damage is already done. So that is good to know, right? If we go down here, you see the resting heart rate. And I can see here that it took almost a few hours for his resting heart rate to go down, as you can see right here. In REM sleep, your heart rate is all over the place, so it goes up and down. This explains why his heart rate was high at this moment, right? Let me show you an example of when he didn't do his evening routine. I will look. Okay, so in this case, this was Friday, past week. It took a long time for his resting heart rate to go down, as you can see here. It was almost the end of the night and then he got his lowest resting heart rate, which indicates that he maybe ate too late, maybe he trained too late, maybe he didn't do his evening routine well, or he worked too late, which resulted in a higher resting heart rate than usual. This is really important for you to know. So if you want to know if you're doing a great job at recovery, look at your resting heart rate and look at the beginning. If it takes a really long time to get your heart rate down to the lowest point, it means that you did something wrong and you need to change something. Mostly it's because of your timing or your evening routine. So this was the sleep section. The only thing you need to focus on is your REM sleep, your deep sleep, your efficiency, and these three are really important. So if you don't have enough deep sleep or REM sleep, you need to make adjustments in your lifestyle to optimize that. If you want to know more about that, just hit me up. The next thing you should also keep in mind is your resting heart rate. Look at your resting heart rate and make sure over a period of a few months that it will go down and not go up, right? So it's really simple. Make sure you have your strict rhythm and then the quality will increase. Let's talk about the readiness section. If we go to the readiness section, you will see a few things. You will see the lowest resting heart rate, average HRV, stands for heart rate variability, and your temperature deviation, right? The only thing you should focus on right here are these two things. So if you talk about your readiness, it is determined mostly by your heart rate variability and your resting heart rate. Do not look at your lowest point. Look at your average resting heart rate when you look at your heart rate, because that is the average. So when we talk about average resting heart rate, it should be between 60 and 50 beats per minute. That is the most optimal. And if you have above that, then it means that you really need to do some more breath work and do some more relaxing activities to get your heart rate down, which results in less stress and better transportation of oxygen in your blood. Okay, so if we talk about heart rate variability, this is the most important factor in your readiness. This literally determines how much stress you can handle that day. So if you have a really low HRV, that means that you have put too much stress on your body. It can be mental, physical, emotional, you can name it all. But that is an indication to you that you should take some rest or should do less demanding tasks. So heart rate variability is the most important factor with determining your recovery or your readiness, right? So that is the most important one. Also your temperature. So if your temperature is really high, that means your body is heating up, which indicates that your immune system is active. So you can anticipate getting sick. At that moment, you should take some supplements like, for example, vitamin D3 with K2 and vitamin C, activated charcoal, you can name it all. Okay, that's great. So for the readiness section, focus on your average HRV and also your average resting heart rate. This way you can really optimize and benchmark yourself. When it comes to measuring your activity with your Oura Ring, it isn't really accurate, so don't focus too much on this section. The only thing you should focus on is your inactive time and also the impact of meals that you consume during the day by measuring your heart rate. Measuring your steps, it isn't really accurate. If you want to measure your steps, I recommend wearing a smartwatch. A smartwatch is way more accurate than a Oura Ring, just so you know. So we talked about your sleep, what you should focus on in your sleep. We talked about your readiness, where you should focus on if we talk about your readiness. And we talked about activity, where you should focus on in your activity section. Don't focus too much on the scores that you get from these sections. Focus on the points that we just have discussed, and then you should optimize based on those factors. We're not done yet, because these are daily measurements, right? The most value lies in long-term data. So if you want to know more about your long-term data, which you can see one of our clients that we have right now. So what you see here is that our client is really consistent in wearing the Oura Ring, which is amazing for long-term data. If we go here, you can literally set up the time zone you want to look at. So for example, he started with us in the beginning of February. Yeah, in the beginning of February. So what you need to do, don't put it on daily, put it on weekly to see more results. Okay, so what happened was he started with us, he had really busy weeks, and now it's going up. So point A, point B, there's improvement. The same goes for total sleep. Point A, point B, there's improvement. So point A to point B, if we talk about his average resting heart rate, is going down, which is amazing. His sleep score from A to B, don't really need to focus on it, but what you can do, for example, right here, is you can look for correlations. So if you talk about HRV, not enough data, midpoint. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have enough data. Trends, look what you should improve and also look at the data, which really helps you with optimizing your sleep. So let me do a quick recap of what we just discussed. The sleep section, you should focus on 3 things: your REM sleep, your deep sleep, and also your sleep efficiency. If we talk about your readiness, you should focus on the following stuff: your HRV and your average resting heart rate. If we talk about activity, you shouldn't really focus on it, but if we talk about it, you can use it to your advantage to look how your body is reacting to certain kinds of meals. This way you can anticipate stress for your body, so you can eliminate based on your heart rate. If we talk about the scores, don't focus on the scores too much, focus on the factors that we just discussed. Okay? And if you do that and you optimize based on the information that you get, you'll be ahead of your competition, but you also know more about your body and how you should implement it into your practical life. So entrepreneur, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you also learned something new. And if you want to know more about how you should read your Oura stats or how you should optimize based on those Oura stats, you can send me a message and like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.